Hello everyone, it's been a while that we haven't had any voiceover tutorial for you guys. So here we go. Today we have a video of a casting process. So what we have here is a raven skull. As you can see, it's been attached by just simple screw from the bottom of the board. And yeah, you just got to make sure that you freeze the skull the way you want it exactly, and then apply it to the board. And then I'm here basically applying some regular water clay to some areas of the skull, just to do some fixing on the imperfections. There's some dents and areas that while you're skinning is going to leave some not very so smooth surfaces on the skull or on the muscles or the cheek muscles and everything. So you tried your best to basically make it as smooth as possible. And this is, always keep in mind that this is only for the first cast, for the first mold. If you really want to get it done the proper way, you have to redo it after that, so you have to cast it again for the final product. But here we have only one raven to mount, so we're not going to worry about it. And raven is not a very common thing for me to mount. I do probably once a year or maybe twice a year, so we're going to be okay with this simple cast here. So as you can see, just using a regular coffee cup that I usually buy my coffees, and I never throw away the cup. I always wash and rinse them and keep them, and they're perfect for these kind of jobs. So I kind of like, you can use a round one, but I prefer to make them look like a little bit of a square, because it gives it an easier understanding which side is which, and it makes it easier to store too. You can stack them on top of one another. So you easily place the cup around the skull. Make sure that it's not basically touching any part of the skull, and you have pretty much the symmetric distance from all around the skull area to the walls of the cup or your cardboard, if you're bending some regular cardboard to create the dam. And I'm using some hot glue. It works really good. Paper and wood, they both like hot glue, and I'm just hot gluing it down to make sure that it's not going anywhere, so I can easily start pouring my molding silicone. And the products that I'm going to be using here, it's from Smooth Cast products. The product is Mold Max 14NB. There is a lot of different products that you can buy this from this company. So this is what works for what I'm doing here. And basically I'm just going to pre-mix the ingredients and pour it easily on the skull. So this one comes in with weight measurements. So basically I have to weigh it out, the two parts. Some of them are easier to work with, like Mold Max, just the regular Mold Max, fast or slow. They come like in 50-50, so you don't have to weigh them. So make sure you mix it very well, and the trick is pouring it down on a thin line from one corner. Don't move your area, don't pour everywhere. Just make sure that you're pouring from bottom to top. And I usually do this before I go home, and the next morning you come and the silicone is already set. Each different product of Smooth Cast has different setting time, but I like to just do it at the end of my day and go home, and the next day it's ready to work on. So you take the screw out from the bottom of the board, you cut out the basically hot glue off the board, because usually they bond really well. You just have to cut out the hot glue and then pop the whole thing off of the board. There you go. And then we can easily cut out the the cardboard dam or the cup, and then we have access to our silicone mold. These molds are these silicones that they're this pourable and so highly detailed. The downside of them is they're just too expensive. That's all. And that's why I bent my cardboard end or a cup into a square. You can see it's easier to work with. Now I have my top and bottom figured out. If it was round, it would be a little bit tough. So I just cut through the skull area, not over to the beak area, and just gives me, this way it just gives me a big enough opening from top of the mold so I can pull out the skull, as you can see what I'm doing here. And you just have to wiggle it because it's stuck pretty good. And this silicone, the good thing about them is that these smooth on silicones, they don't really glue to anything. They only glue to themselves. So basically you can easily pour over your product without worrying about mold release. Of course, there is some residue of some moisture and some blood and some clay inside the mold. I like to wash it all out with a little brush and dry the mold out, so make it ready for casting. Again, the casting resin that I'm using here is of the same company, is the Smooth On products, and it is called Smooth Cast Onyx, and this one is just black. That's why I use it. There is, again, different types of resin you can use. They're usually different colors, but I chose the black one for this because I don't have to paint the beak anymore. So put some rubber bands on the opening part of the mold so it keeps it closed, and then usually these resins set within 3 to 5 minutes. I give them about half an hour before I can demold. So the demold time is here. It's always fun, and you easily open up the mold and you pull out your artificial skull with all the details that you could see on the skull, inside the mouth, over the roof, like on the roof of the beak, the tongue, the throat, and everything. That's the best way of creating an open mouth bird. So here you can see the skull is all black, and what I like to do, there's always some imperfections on the skull area. I just like to grind them off with my Dremel tool, and basically the eyes, you have to basically grind out the eye cavities so you can do your clay work and apply the artificial eyes in there. The reason that you don't want to pull out your eyes out of the skull before you make the mold is that you want that natural measurements to be there. You just dig out big enough for you to be able to basically apply your clay and set your eyes in. You don't need to pull out the whole eyeball. Anyway, I kept this part of the video a little bit on a slower speed so you can see exactly what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It is as simple as you could see. It's just a matter of being able to do this for every bird that you do, or at least most of the birds that you do. It's going to be a little bit costly, but you're gonna have a lot better result and more detailed, basically face job or beak job on your mount. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please press that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more videos coming up, and I'm working on body carving video. I've done it, I've filmed the video, but I have to still get down to basically edit it and upload it on YouTube. thanks for watching again. Next video would be about mounting this crow. I mean, raven. Okay, have a good one.